lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be my first Mommy Monday video and I am very excited. So today's video is going to be my first trimester update. So usually the first trimester of your pregnancy ends about 14 weeks, I think it is. So I will be updating you guys all the way up to 14 weeks. When you guys are watching this on Monday, April 8th, I will be 17 weeks and 4 days. So I'm a little behind on this whole updating situation, but I still wanted to do the video for you guys. So before we jump into the video, I do want you guys to well, I just want to mention to you guys, I guess I should say, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you like this video or you want to see more from me, whatever the case may be, there is a subscribe button down there that I would love for you to hit. And then I want to have like a question of the day, like question of the video, I guess you could say. So for today's question, I want you guys to leave me a comment down below and let me know, I want to know what your first trimester was like when you were pregnant, or yeah, I want to know what your first trimester was like whenever you were pregnant. I just think that that would be really interesting, and I would love to talk to you guys about that in the comments because I know every single pregnancy is different. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. I have everything I want to talk about written down here because if I don't write it down, I will forget, and I want to fill you guys in on everything. I have not been very good about like writing down things like week by week or day by day or anything like that. This is all just stuff that I like remember off the top of my head. So first and foremost, if you guys haven't seen my last video, it's where I actually announced that we were having a baby and I kind of told you like the background and how we found out and everything like that. So if you haven't seen that video, I would definitely recommend going and watching it. We actually found out that we were pregnant on January 11th, 2019. So I was 5 weeks and 2 days at that point. And then, I mean, I explained everything in the last video where like I was like, this is what made me think I was pregnant. So I'm not going to really go over it in this video, but I am going to talk about my symptoms after I found out. So when we found out, it was like everything hit me. Like it was like, oh, like you know you're pregnant now? Okay, well here's all your symptoms. And it was so crazy to me. It was like right after we found out I was pregnant that like all of the symptoms like really started to hit me. So I think the biggest symptom that I had for my first trimester was definitely like extreme nausea. I was very lucky to not have morning sickness. Thank God, because I was incredibly like, I hate throwing up, okay? I hate it. So whenever, I mean, I'm sure everybody hates throwing up. I don't think that's a thing that people enjoy. But like the thought of like throwing up all the time on a regular basis, like no, that didn't sound like a fun time for me. So I was very thankful that I never actually got sick because of the nausea. Like there was maybe 3 times where I was like, okay, I really think I'm gonna throw up. And honestly at that point it was probably like I probably wished I would have thrown up at that point because I was like, I just felt so bad that it's like, I feel like if I actually did throw up, I would feel better. But yeah, so extreme nausea was like a huge thing for me. Another thing is my sense of smell. So I like swear to God, my nose is like a freaking hound dog's nose. Like, it's honestly like crazy to me how insane my smell is. There was actually a day, because I mentioned in my last video that I couldn't eat my steak that we had got the night that we found out I was pregnant. And that was actually one of my food aversions, which is like food that you like can't even like think about eating because it just like grosses you out so much. So steak and hamburger, kind of like red meat, were kind of the foods that I like, even just the thought of it, like, ugh, no, not gonna happen. So there was one night where I came home from hanging out with Jay, and my dad had made beef tips for dinner. And by the time I had got home, like, it was late enough, they had already ate and cleaned up and everything like that. But the house smelled so strongly of like beef. And it was so bad. And at this point, they obviously didn't know because I was only, you know, we had only just like found out not too long ago. I had to force myself to go to sleep in order to like deal with it because honestly, the smell was so bad. I couldn't do it. It was insane. Like, it just made me so nauseous and like, ugh, gross. So I had to force myself to go to sleep, which was awesome. Another thing is, like I said, I had food aversions for steak and hamburger. Realistically, the only thing that I could eat for the first trimester was chicken. Another one of my cravings was definitely fruit, and like salads, like healthy stuff actually, which I thought was very interesting. Like, I was like, I want a Caesar salad. I really want a freaking Caesar salad. Like, I ate a lot of Caesar salads in the first trimester just because they were so good to me and I just like wanted them so bad. And then another craving of mine, which I find very funny, is Mexican food. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Mexican food. I eat it like all the time, whatever. Obviously Jay is half Mexican, so like we have a lot of Mexican food anyway. But there was just like certain days where I was just like, I need Mexican food in my life. And we went to one of like these restaurants in Indy, and we got these things called flautas, and it's like equivalent to a taquito in America. And they were so good. And then it was actually really funny because the next day after work, I was like, I want that exact same thing again. Like, they were just so good that I needed to have them again. And I felt bad because I was like, you know, I want the same things yesterday. Are you okay with that? He is very supportive in the aspect of satisfying my cravings. Another craving that I had, not very often, but like sometimes it'll like sprinkle itself in there, is ice cream. And realistically, like, I just want like soft serve ice cream cone. Like, that's all I want. I remember very distinctly, like not too long after we found out I was pregnant, I was craving an ice cream cone, so we went to McDonald's. And it actually snowed the day before, so there was still like snow on the ground. And the lady at McDonald's was like, it's kind of cold for ice cream, don't you think? And I was like, I'm pregnant. Leave me alone, okay? Don't judge me. They always say that pregnancy symptoms and period symptoms are very similar, and that is 110% true. I actually, like right before we found out, like literally the day before, you know, whenever you're about to start your period and you can like feel it, like you just feel gross and you're like, oh, yep, Aunt Flo's coming. She'll be here tomorrow, I guarantee you. That's how I felt. Literally, like the day before we found out I was pregnant, that's how I felt. I was like, oh yeah, like I might be late, but she's coming tomorrow. I can feel it. And then obviously we took the pregnancy test and it came out positive, and I was like, what the hell? Like, this is crazy to me. And then another thing is cramping. Obviously your uterus is like expanding and growing so it can make a home for your baby. So it has to grow and expand and get bigger, and that involves a lot of cramping, and I'm talking a lot of cramping. I had a lot of cramping, and yeah, that was fun. This is funny, actually. So I went to write down baby brain and I wrote down baby bump. So that just goes to show that baby brain is very real. Pregnancy brain, baby brain, whatever you want to call it, very real. Another symptom that I had was shortness of breath. I still get that to this day. That's really like, that was another huge one for me. I've had like a lot of heartburn throughout the first trimester. I still get heartburn. Most of the time it's manageable, like it's really not that much to deal with. I can just like feel, like it kind of feels like acid reflux, like it's just like chilling, not like it's uncomfortable, but it's not like, you know, I can handle it, whatever. But there's been a handful of times where, you know, your girl has to take some Tums and drink a glass of milk because I can't. Like it's a lot. And obviously another symptom was sore boobs, very sensitive boobs. Again, still to this day, my boobs are very sensitive and very sore. Obviously, another symptom would be exhaustion. You know, obviously when I was working 50 hours a week and whatever, I would always try and get like at least 8 hours of sleep, just because like it's a lot. It's a lot of work. And I remember I got like 8 hours of sleep one night. I slept great. I woke up and I was still so exhausted. Like I was falling asleep at work. That's how tired I was. Another symptom that I had was like body acne, which, not even really body acne, but just like I had a lot of acne on my shoulders, which I feel like is very weird. And at one point my chest broke out really bad, and it was not really bad, but like it's weird. So that was just very interesting. And that's like really all of the symptoms that I can think of like off the top of my head. So then like towards the end of my first trimester, we finally got our first doctor's appointment. I was 12 weeks and 6 days at that point. And the heartbeat was 155. So that is all I can think of off the top of my head, and all I can really think of to tell you guys about the first trimester. I do realize that I'm almost 18 weeks, but I am going to go ahead and show you guys a bump shot really quick. This is the belly face on. I am like 110% convinced that my belly button is going to turn into an outie very soon, because it just looks like it's gonna happen. And then this is the belly from the side. Yeah. So obviously, like I said, it is 2 o'clock in the morning at this point in time, so I've already like ate a bunch of food today and everything like that, so the belly does look kind of bigger. I'm still at the point where like sometimes in the mornings whenever I wake up, there's not really much of a belly, but then by the end of the day it looks like this and it just feels massive. And then other times like I just wake up and there's automatically a belly there. So it's just one of those things where it's just, you know, living its life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention to you guys. Excuse me. I've actually decided to restart my blog, And when I say restart, I mean like completely restart, revamp everything. So my website is going to be linked down below. I'm actually going to be doing a blog post over this first trimester update, and I'll include a bunch of pictures in there, like weekly bump shots and everything like that. So if you guys want to see some pictures or anything, then click the link in the bio, or used to Instagram. Click the link in the description and it'll take you there, and you guys can read all about my first trimester update if you would prefer to read it. There is a questionnaire I'm going to be filling out over there, so it might be a little bit different than what I'm, talking about in this video, because I don't want them to be exactly the same. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.